What's up, everybody? It's Joe La Puma. You were watching the Complex Sneakers Podcast. As always, I am joined by my two friends. First off, Mr. Matt Welty.
It's a new week, and it's a different vibe.
Okay, different vibe. Look, he's happy.
Yes.
He's a lot less shade of red. To my left, Mr. Brendan Dunne.
He's also double cupping. What do you
Double
got in
cupping?
there, man?
You have to double. People always used to say this to me back in the office days. You have to double cup when you're drinking iced coffee out of a paper cup. I think so, because it starts to
Seep through a little.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure what was in the cup.
No, there's no Texas oil. Shout out Paul Wall.
Pulled up to the podcast with a cup of mud on his
How are we
table.
feeling? Feeling better than last week?
I'm feeling great.
Okay.
I feel rejuvenated.
Glad to hear that. He was on time today.
You were on time. Yep. Pushes it right to the minute.
Push it
to the last second always. But he was on time. What's going on, guys?
I feel good.
Feel like there's a lot going on?
Yeah. I'm still getting
Where did
back
your
into
weekend take you?
it. I was upstate.
Okay.
I was
at
took a
Rikers?
trip on the What's up? What'd you say?
you're like I'm upstate. I'm like, were you at Rikers? I don't know.
Did a bid?
Yeah.
No up north trips. I was in Port Chester for a little bit. I was in the town of Rye, New York, where go ahead, Welty.
That's where our good friend PG, his father and his brother,
Have a jewelry store.
It all
Yeah.
comes back. It
Important-
all comes back to PG and the fam.
important trivia out of the way real quick. Yeah, I was upstate for a wedding over the weekend. You know, shout out to my purchase people.
Okay.
Had a really bad burrito.
Ooh. I don't ruin a wedding.
Went and saw the Batman. Got a pedicure.
Really?
Saw everything everywhere. Yeah.
What you do? Clear pedicure polish?
Nope. No polish. No.
Okay.
Yeah. My toe. How much do we want to talk about my toes on this podcast?
I mean, I just wondering.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Will it fire you up as much as Mischief sneakers fire you up?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
As a sometimes runner, you know, the toes could get a
Oh
little
yeah,
gnarly.
makes
so
sense.
Needed some rehab on that. But yeah, it was a good weekend.
Speaking about runner, I went to the Nets game Saturday. I met your friend Joe Holder.
Okay.
He was in the suite with me. You were not in the suite.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I don't know. I do I want to say it's karma for all the non-dinner invites? There was a nice spread. Nets lost, sure, but
The Nets got
Nets,
smacked in that
yeah.
series.
Are
do you
you a Boston fan, by the way, Welty?
I like the Celtics to some degree, but I wouldn't really consider myself. I wouldn't consider myself like a fan. I remember being there.
If there's any NBA team that you're a fan of, though, it
yeah,
feels
I
like
would
the
say that,
Celtics.
but I wouldn't really put my hat in and try to claim the fandom.
Okay.
You know, I just remember it coincides, you know, with periods of your life where you're like working in secret stores in Boston. This was during the whole run of the original Big Three: Paul Pierce,
yep.
Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, and like seeing them win.
Did you
against
feel conflicted at all? Because you're also a big time Jersey man.
I like basically
So the New Jersey Nets, the Brooklyn Nets.
No,
that never
for
meant
me it's
anything
like
to you?
all sport teams are all New Jersey for the most part, or New York. But I just happen to like the Celtics a little bit, but I don't really consider myself an NBA fan, so I don't really have like huge alliance to it.
Okay.
Or
Got it.
allegiance.
I got to take it back to the weekend real quick because I think I sent y'all
Yep.
a photo of one meal that I enjoyed this weekend.
Yep,
Of a
my
split
total-
glizzy.
Yeah, my personal
Yep.
brand has totally become the glizzy.
You had
the
you had
glizzy
someone
god.
DM you like they were
Yes.
eating like 5 hot dogs for
Yes.
dinner.
Every
Last night-
piece of hot dog related content that floats out onto the internet
I
now,
know.
we get tagged in it.
Yeah, it's rollerblading. Rollerblading now. I'm a hardcore rollerblader and a glizzy god.
You
Yeah.
gonna take Arlo Eisenberg sneaker shopping?
Who is that?
Joey Chestnut?
No, he was like the Tony Hawk of like inline skating.
Oh, I thought you meant of hot
okay.
dog eating. That's why I said Joey Chestnut.
Oh, funny story that didn't make the cut from the NEMS episode. When I asked him, since he's from Coney Island,
Yeah,
I asked
right.
him
Hot
if
dog.
I asked him
Full
if
size round.
I asked him if he's a fan of Joey Chestnut.
He was totally nonplussed.
He says don't ever disrespect me talking about Joey Chestnut.
Not the local hero you thought he would be. But yes,
Yes.
my hot dog experience was pretty good. I went to a place called Texas Chili in Port Chester, and
Sounds
Chris
good.
Schoenberger of First We Feast fame did steer me there because he said one time that he was driving to the PepsiCo headquarters nearby with Rich Antonello, NCB.
Does it have
Nick
dollars on the wall?
Schoenberger.
Does it have dollars on the wall?
Yes.
I went there with them.
And he said
There's
you
a
guys were
photo.
in a test drive Bentley or something like
There's-
that?
yes.
A BMW that wasn't out yet or
Wow,
something
that's
like
the
that?
place.
Yeah, Texas Chili.
I don't think Chris was with us. Nick Schoenberger was with us.
Nick, okay, let me look at the text from Chris again.
Okay.
This is super deep, complex trivia minutia, but that's what people come to us
Has
for.
dollars on the wall. I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah.
I definitely had. Yep, we stopped there on a
did you
meeting
get
to
a glizzy?
PepsiCo. Multiple glizzies.
He said, went there with Echo, NCB, and Rich, that's Rich Antonello, after Nick and I drove them to the Pepsi campus in a test drive Bentley. So I don't
might
know
have been there
I don't
on
know
that
how
trip.
big this Bentley is, but listen to me, Joe, because Chris Schoenberger is saying it's him, 1, Echo 2, NCB 3, Rich 4, and Nick 5. That's 5 people in the
we
car
might have
already.
had the big body. Okay, we might have had
body
the big
bends.
body on the way. Yeah.
Do you remember that hot dog experience?
Yes, it was
at
really
Texas
good.
Chili?
It was really good. I wasn't as big as a fan of hot dogs as I am now, so
You
maybe I
weren't
didn't
as
appreciate
into
it.
the
But that
culture.
was a place. There's a picture. There's definitely a picture of Nick Schoenberger
On the wall?
someone's Instagram, not on the wall.
Oh,
Nick
I don't know.
Schoenberger, who works at Nike now.
Yes.
Brother to Chris Schoenberger,
Yes.
creator of Hot Ones.
Yep.
And it was good. They split it right open. They put some chili on it, some spicy chili.
Sounds
They have
great.
some gnarly things on the menu. I look forward to going back. It's right by the Port Chester train station.
Okay.
So if our listeners want to go patronize it, that's how they can.
I had some hot dogs at the Nets game.
Yeah.
Hot dogs. You? Any?
Did you fulfill your duty?
I
this
didn't eat
weekend?
any hot dogs.
What was
this
your
weekend.
weekend like?
Anything?
Anything?
No, nothing crazy. Just
Cooled off after last week's episode?
yeah,
Oh my god!
Okay. You know? It's just
some fitness. I don't know. Eating food. Nothing like nuts. Oh, I posted it on social media. Climbed a rope for the first time in my life this morning.
today I saw you.
Yeah,
For the first time in your life, you never had to try and do that as
Gym
a
class.
kid.
I did,
Yeah,
but
in
like
gym
when I
class?
was like 9 years old, I never climbed a rope. I don't think I even knew how.
Yeah, up to the ceiling in the gymnasium.
Yeah, we were joking about it because I guess so the distance from the standard distance on a rope climb is 15 feet ceilings, which really isn't that high because you figure you jump up, pull yourself once, it's like you're already at, I don't know, 9 feet or something like that.
What kind of hops are we talking about, Welty?
Well, your arms
Upper body strength.
extend out and then you get a hop. I don't know how many feet you're at. And either ways, but we were talking about those ropes in gym class. Maybe it's because you're younger. In like the old school gymnasiums with the ceilings that, go
Yep.
to the moon.
Yeah.
It felt like if you could get up one of those things, you were climbing like 40 feet to the sky.
Yeah,
Definitely,
God help you if you
definitely.
can't figure out how to get down.
Yeah.
Do you wear ropes when you do the rope climb? Because I saw you slide down that thing, little Tarzan style, and I was worried about maybe your.
I need to spend a little more time on the dismount.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
the hardest part of climbing the rope is actually coming down on it. I have a little
Got a little
burn
raspberry.
got a little burn on my leg. Not fun.
Sorry to hear that. Are we going to talk? Is this one of those episodes where we just talk
No.
about like hot dogs and
No.
fitness and stuff
No.
like that?
Hot
We
dogs
don't
and
talk
rope
about
climbs?
sneakers at all. Sorry, people.
Big
This is
sneaker
the
news this
Complex
week.
Glizzy podcast.
Big sneaker news this week. What will we say?
There's-
Ben Kickz photo
There's
having
plenty of it.
Ben
Oh,
Kickz
my-
photo having people.
You know what's
in
crazy, and I'm not discounting trying to downplay the Ben Kickz photo, or
Yeah.
I'm not trying to.
This is Ben Kickz posting with a bunch of Union
Union
Air
twos.
Jordan
Yes,
2s. Seemingly
or I'm not trying
backdoored.
to rattle it up or whatever, but it is interesting sometimes when Ben Kickz been around for a while.
Been around.
Yeah, I did the first profile piece on him
Yeah.
when he was like 16 years old. He came to the complex office.
He was at the college shoot
And he
that I was at.
It was at the old office, and he couldn't get upstairs because he was like 16 years old and didn't have an identification, and I had to like come down and be like, no, it's okay, he can come up. But he's been posting those sneaker flex photos for like a long time.
Yeah.
Where I mean, you've just seen those on the internet all the time, where it's like some reseller has X amount of pairs of shoes, right? Obviously, the Union Air Jordan 2, Union apologized for the sneaker release, saying they
Yeah.
botched the online thing. But it is interesting sometimes when things have been happening for like what feels like 8 years or so, and then this one photo is what's wrong with what's wrong with sneaker culture, but people act like they've never witnessed this before, and it's like all of a sudden this huge like outrage over like one sneaker photo. I don't know.
But I guess it's also a mix, doesn't it seem, because the release didn't go
Yes.
well.
I think that's exactly
The
why.
photo popping up, I guess like that's probably
Salt in the wound.
That's exactly.
I would say, but it did feel like a lot of people outside of sneaker culture were complaining about the photo.
Got it.
Well, I
too.
mean, I think the photo's an easy thing for people to look at and be like, this is everything I hate about sneakers right now. They see, a privileged young kid having all the shoes that you can't get, and if you want them, you're going to have to pay to buy them from him on resale. And I totally understand anybody being upset at that, whether they're inside, whether they're out, especially if they're outside and not knowing what happens in sneakers regularly, because they see this and they're like, how fucked is this game if that's exactly what it looks like? Like some kid who just bought all these pairs and I can't get them. And especially if they missed out on the Union 2 release online,
Yeah.
and their card is charged up a bunch of times and Union isn't releasing the charges for them. I mean, I don't want to get too into this. Like, I reached out to Chris Gibbs trying to get like an interview after the fact. Like, hopefully we can speak to him a little bit more about the stuff. But I think for a lot of people, it felt like trophy room Jordan 1 all over again. And my read on the situation is that that's not what's going on. I don't believe that Union backdoored a bunch of pairs to Ben Kickz.
So then what
Ben
happens?
did leave like a cryptic comment saying, "You think that the store is my plug, but what happens if it's the blank?" And I don't think he said it, but
He's like insinuating that it's a brand, right?
yeah, that not we don't know, so we don't
Sure,
want to
sure,
say
sure.
it. But the read on it in the room was he's saying that somehow he's getting the shoes directly from Nike. Was kind of how people correlated his statement, right? That's
yeah,
fair to
I
say.
mean, which again, I would love to talk. Can we just call Ben Kickz or what?
He's a busy man, apparently.
Because we want to get these people's side
We
of
would
the
love,
story
we would,
when
we
they're
want to have
involved
Ben
in it.
Kickz on the podcast. I don't think he'll ever do it, but
But yeah, his insinuation was like, he said, "What if my back door isn't a store, but it's the blank themselves?" Saying,
Yes.
kind of saying like, no, the stores aren't backdooring me. Saying, no, Union didn't sell me these, but what if it's the brand themselves? Again, I'm filling in the blank, but
Yeah.
I have a hard time believing anybody directly at Nike is like supplying. I just don't know why somebody would do that.
Yeah,
and
on
risk
such a
that.
hot shoe.
But
like,
but I could see it being a Memphis thing. We've heard a lot about shoes disappearing out of the Memphis
They call it
distribution
copping?
center.
Right.
Yeah, so like, or some type of gray market factory situation in Asia where that's where you're sourcing your pairs, but-
that's my biggest bet is gray market.
or Memphis. I'm saying
Yeah.
Ben Kickz is FaceTiming.
Ben Kickz is
Yeah.
FaceTiming you right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, answer it.
Answer it. Tell him to
Answer
fill
it.
in the
No,
blank.
Hold on.
Tell him to fill in the blank.
Hey, we're recording right now. No.
No.
You're live. Are you?
What's up?
Do you think you'll ever do this podcast?
Ben, fill in the blank. What if my back door isn't a store, but it's the blank themselves? Confidential, he said. I don't know if the mic picked it up, but he said confidential.
Also, you said complex sneakers. Where you at?
Yeah.
We literally have you on the podcast right now. So here we are.
All right, listen, we're gonna try to set in person. Okay,
We would love to talk about it, Ben.
later.
Wow, what? That was so serendipitous. That was destiny right there. I love
Funny.
that. But still saying
That's the headline right there. It's like for 2 seconds. Ben Kickz comes and explains where he gets his shoes. I find it interesting when you talk about like the gray market stuff because I'm not involved in this world at all. But admittedly, I do have a handful of friends
who are very involved.
who are very involved on multiple degrees of it. Like there's someone, and not just to mention again, but PG who more so is reselling Grail level shoes and being like a sneaker connector of the dots between people who have money and people who have expensive shoes.
He's also been wilding out with the you have to buy all 50 pairs or
Well, so
75
that's what it
pairs.
comes to. But
have
I also
you seen
have
that lately?
Yeah.
but I also have other friends in the same like circle of friends who do the mass sneaker reselling where they have a warehouse full of 100 pairs of Yeezys or whatever. Whether they
Can I say, and they're getting them backdoored from stores, right?
some of them backdoor from stores, some of them like bot behavior.
Yeah. Because I don't want to pretend like
No, but some of it
stores don't backdoor.
some of
like,
it, but then there's
stores do
also
backdoor.
there's also like a lot of stuff going on. Like Paul had posted something over the weekend, and I was still going back and forth with him on this, and I never got an answer, and I don't want to like put it all out there, so I have no idea. But he had posted that he had the Salehe Bembury white friends and family Crocs. He posted on his Instagram story, so I'm not.
How many pairs?
I think there was something posted on
Like
it
you
where
need
there
to
was.
buy all 50?
I think someone else
That's
had
pretty
tweeted about the
crazy.
same thing that I don't know if the shoes were directly his or if he's trying to middleman a deal with someone. But there was the insinuation, I believe, that there was 400 pairs of friends and family Salehe Bembury
How could you not be
white
mad at
Crocs. But I'm like, and we're also like, where did they come from? Because it's like, number one, how many of those did they make, right? Like if it's a friends and family release, I mean, I don't know how many they made, but I'm assuming it's not like, oh, they made 100,000 pairs and just 1% of the stock slipped out the back door, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like, is someone super involved, the person doing it, or is there someone down the line who has access to the factory who's letting it out? Or like you said, is it a gray market thing where like the factory who made it? I mean, I don't know. I'm not putting all,
and I don't, we
I'm
would
just
love
saying,
for Ben Kickz to
Yeah,
come
we'll
on
see.
here.
We'll
and
try.
I'm just saying
explain
it's just
himself, or better yet, PG to come on here. and
yeah,
explain
it's just
Both.
it's just interesting to
Not
like
at the same time. 2 episodes.
think of like, and maybe all those answers are wrong, but those are sort of where your mind races sometimes when you think about like, how did this occur?
Yeah, and it's funny because we try and suss out the answers to these questions a lot, but Welty, I think you'll agree that whenever you're talking to sneaker resellers, and I get it to an extent, but they believe that the information they have is, you know, the most top secret, sensitive information, you know?
The one thing I will, and
they
I
always
not
want to be
to
quoted anonymously. and
not
they
to
don't.
give them like credit for it or anything, but I just trying to see it from their POV.
Sure, it affects their business.
It affects their business, but also like if you're just a guy who resells shoes that are like gonna sell anyways, it's like what do you really have to gain by getting your name published in a publication?
Yeah.
Sorry, maybe I'm a little naive, but were those Union 2s super sought after? It seems like...
I mean, I think anytime Union is going to do a Nike or Jordan collaboration right now, it's going to
It's
be
not
sought
like a
after.
shoe that's going to sit on shelves or resell
Right,
for $20 more than resale,
right.
you know? So
You think it's going to be super valuable?
it's not going to be like a Union Jordan 1 or a Union Jordan 4, but I would imagine that, and I don't know because I didn't look up the numbers, but I would still imagine that it's probably a shoe that resells for like $400+.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think again, I think people were upset at the way the release went, and then the charges were being held, and then the gut punch is seeing somebody else with a ton of pairs. And,
away.
I understand why Ben Kickz is doing what he's doing, and he's making the money off of them. You know, again, I hope we can discuss that on podcast, but I don't really fault anybody for being upset at seeing that. You know, it does happen all the time, but
It's the world we live in.
absolutely.
18 minutes in, you know what time it is.
What? We giving away
time-
some sneakers?
It's time to give away some sneakers.
Okay. Yeah, with eBay. We do it every week. Free pair of sneakers courtesy of eBay Sneakers here on the Complex Sneakers Podcast. You can go, I just said sneakers like 6 times.
Oh, good.
ebay.complex.com to enter the giveaway. You can give us on that microsite a question. If we pick your question and we answer your question here on the air on our podcast, we are going to give you a free pair of shoes courtesy of eBay and their sneakers authenticity guarantee program. Only open to U.S. residents. What is the pair we're giving away this week? I don't know what it is. Welty, do you want to unveil this for us?
Something modern.
Okay.
Something from this year, last year.
Okay. Usually we give away old shoes. So
Yeah, I've been obviously everyone knows I've always been a New Balance guy, but on a New Balance kick. Actually,
you picked
special
these out for
special
us to give
tag
away.
on this box.
Oh, okay. All gone.
Ooh.
It's the all
You
gone.
collect that? You
I
have
don't.
that
I
at-
don't have the books, but I've
Okay.
always like seen them and
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
they were cool. It's the La MJC times Paperboy Paris New Balance 991s. These
Wow,
were I
that's
think
a
released
mouthful.
with. Yes, that's why I had
Those are really good. Wow.
Yes, but regardless of the connection of thinking that was cool, I know Brendan's not a big New Balance 991 fan, but
Important
That's
note to mention.
Those
every
are really
time.
good.
I just think that these are, and I didn't realize how
When did those release?
like recent-ish, like sometime this year, because it was the 2021 All Gone book, so it must have been at the top of the year. But I think these only dropped in Paris.
Those about to go on eBay sneakers.
But
and buy
yeah,
a pair
they
of
have the
them.
All Gone on the
They're really
tab.
nice.
They got the Paperboy logo, but
Oh, wow.
regardless of this being a collaboration or whatever, I just think the pink with the green
Yeah.
and the tan is just a really nice colorway. So when I saw these, I thought I'd want a pair. So
They're reselling for a grip.
a lot
A
of money.
grip.
How much?
Really? Those?
I think
that's-
over 1,000, right?
I didn't
Yes.
realize that shoe was that rare.
1,100, 1,700, and 8.5, 9, 1,800, 10, 919.
And those are all
10
from
and a half.
eBay sneakers, of course. Right?
Wow.
So you wanted a pair, but more important than you wanting a pair is
We're
us
giving someone
giving away.
That's a
pair.
good pair.
We're giving a grail.
Hopefully,
You calling
this
that a
person-
grail?
No, I'm saying I'll put.
Let me see those.
I wouldn't say it's a grail, but I would say it's like a modern. Just
Okay.
from the price point of it, it's a hard shoe to obtain.
But also, look at this.
We got to gatekeep a little bit.
I
when
always
it
say
comes
it.
to
No,
the
that's
grail.
fine.
Great color blocking.
Just great shoe.
Feel like you
Yeah.
know, like a reviewer, a YouTube reviewer. Great color blocking, though. Honestly,
Good luck to all the YouTube reviewers out there.
Really,
We wish
really
you,
nice.
We wish you well.
wow.
Who are we giving these sneakers away to?
So these New Balances are going to Ryan Clarkson from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And he asks, have you ever had a pair of shoes stolen? If so, what happened and did you get them back?
So many stories.
Really? Do you? You go, because I don't have that many. I have finish line
I
stories,
have some
but
interesting ones.
the black. Okay.
Welty, I bet you remember this story, and it has to do with a pair of Adidas Gazelles.
Oh yeah, I vaguely remember this now, but
Is this a
go on.
recent complex story? Or
It
no?
was through Complex.
Well, okay.
boy,
I was
okay.
gonna I was gonna try and be a little bit more vague about that, but this was a number of years ago. We won't use any names, but I had an orange pair of Adidas Gazelles. This was probably 2015 or so when they were going hard with the Gazelles.
yeah,
And I had them sitting at my desk. And at any given time, you have a lot of shoes at your desk. And you don't worry about it too much because you trust the people who are around you. And I came in to the office on a Monday morning, and everything was in order, except I noticed that I was missing a pair of orange Adidas Gazelles, and they were not at my desk, and I was so confused, and I was looking around, and I was like, did I put them in another box? You know, a lot of times you just, if you have a pair of shoes out, you just stuff them in a random box and forget about them for a couple of years, but I was pretty sure they were missing.
that's such a weird feeling when you go from where is this to did I lose it or did someone steal it?
It's a painful feeling.
Okay, so did you have the amount of shoes at your desk then than you do now?
No, I had far less at that point.
Okay, so it was easy for you to see something was missing.
Yeah, it's still easy, so stay away from my fucking desk.
So not to name anyone, but did you?
God.
No,
Be
I'm
careful.
not,
Oh,
because
God.
I don't remember.
I'll keep, yeah.
So keep on.
Yeah. So, well, the first person I can name is Matt Welty, because I feel like you walked by.
You thought I stole your shoes?
I mean, there was definitely a point in time where I like looked at you and I was complaining about what happened to my shoes, and you were like, "Yeah, that's really crazy." And I was like, "This motherfucker took my shoes."
No, if anything. Wow.
I did believe that for a brief moment, if I'm being totally honest. But I had
How did it end up?
okay. So again, I will speak in very vague terms here, but there was somebody around back then who I think wanted my attention more than I was able to give them my attention.
Oh boy.
And that person,
Stole your shoes?
yes, I'm trying
Wow,
to frame
this
this in the
is-
right way
this is
because
really
I'm trying
dark.
to recreate how I got to the
Okay.
solution of the riddle. If I could take it back to Batman for a sec. Did I mention that I watched Batman
Yes,
this
the
weekend?
Batman,
Yeah,
yep.
so the Batman. Excuse me. So
I was also okay. Go ahead.
No. Finish the story.
okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to like remember how I got there. The person I had helped the person get a pair of New Balances, and I noticed that
God.
pair of New Balances sitting somewhere else in the office, and I said, "That's weird. That person appears to have left for the weekend without their shoes, and my shoes are missing." And
Do you
so,
know
No, I
All
think
this-
you told me this.
Yeah.
Don't
what
know
year
who
was
is.
this?
like 2015, I think.
Okay.
And eventually I confronted that person and I said, "I'm missing a pair of shoes." And they said, "Oh, no, this is what happened. Somebody took away my shoes at the office." I'm sorry to speak in such vague terms, but they basically told me that somebody else played a prank on them and took their shoes. So they felt that we were close enough to where, and I had enough shoes just sitting around at my desk. So they went and took my shoes from my desk and put them on maybe on a not so sober Friday evening.
Tough
and
one.
rode the train home with them over the weekend, and then was totally going to tell me
That's a
that
tough
they
one.
took them, but did not until after I confronted them about it. I did get the shoes back. I did actually see them in my house this morning.
NDS.
I
VNDS?
wear them, but it was like this psychotic moment of like, somebody touching your property is so
You could go-
so
yeah.
violating in so many ways, and then just to like, it's somebody you work with. And I won't give any more details.
But you
Maybe
got 'em
we can
back.
talk about it
You got 'em
when we're
back.
off the mic. But yeah, I was.
I definitely had people steal shoes off of my desk, which was crazy. In the old office, my desk was like, I had multiple desks. My desk was like the end cap of the row. And some people would just walk by and just thought, "Oh, why are all these shoes here?" And I'm like, "Yo, this is my desk. Like,
Yeah.
You say that?
I catch people like just looking through
Oh my
boxes.
God! When somebody walks by your desk, sorry,
And I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
One of the crazy ones was I had a pair of there was this brand No One LA that
remember this.
Jimmy Garecki used to work at.
Shout out to Jimmy.
They did like Samba looking handmade shoes that were like $800-900
Retail, yeah.
Yeah, I think actually the one they did, there was a pink pair that was a collaboration with
see it.
Union
Yep.
LA that had the Prodigy lyrics after Prodigy had passed away, like on the insole, and they were like a pink suede, funny pink shoes, and they were sitting on the end cap, and I was like, "Where are these sneakers?" And they were just gone.
Did you ever get an inkling?
Nope, had no idea.
No clues.
I thought I was gonna see.
We might have to reopen the case right now.
I thought maybe I was gonna see someone who worked in like another department who maybe had just stumbled, like you say, had stumbled over and didn't know the situation and thought, because there was like a free table at Complex, or I guess still is, in
Yeah,
one's
it's
acting
free.
office, where sneakers are kind of up for grabs.
Sure.
And for some reason, I thought I was gonna see someone walking through the office like wearing my shoes.
you were ready
Just
to tackle him.
And it's such a distinct shoe that like
Yeah.
you're like, no, you stole my shoes. You
Weird
know?
one to steal, huh?
What?
Weird one to steal.
Yeah.
Not taking anything.
No.
away, but
Yeah,
like-
it's like I can't imagine anyone who stole it would have known what it was, you know. But that one got stolen. I had another pair of shoes stolen as well.
More recently, right?
No.
Oh.
No, in the same vein. And I think I had mentioned on the full size run, or even here, like someone, like kids stole my wrestling shoes.
Oh,
in
yes,
middle-
yes,
yes.
in high school or middle school, and that was.
Dramatic?
It's sort of the thing where it's like, if you've ever had something stolen from you, or like unintentionally taken, you know, where someone didn't go into your locker and steal
Yeah.
it, but maybe you left something on like a table or whatever, and then someone saw it and took it, and now they're wearing like whatever you had, you know, and you're like, I know that's mine. Like like it's missing from me, and you're wearing it. Like,
That's how people feel about these Union Jordan 2s. They feel like they were stolen from them, man.
but yeah, sorry to go on a long.
No, that's what we're
Yeah.
here for.
Yeah.
Joe, what about you?
I can't remember. I do remember finish line days where it would be busy,
Yeah.
and you know, we had this thing where we would just yell heads up. Heads
Okay.
up. So if you were going back,
Yeah.
did you have a code word for
we
locker?
we talked about this. It's always just like heads up, or like,
Oh, it is heads up. So
you'd say like I have like one down or something
one
like
down.
that.
Yeah. So, but it would get busy, and yeah, when you go to the back, you say heads up, and that, you know, makes people aware that you're going to the back and you have shoes on the floor. But it was nothing worse than it being busy. Someone
snatches a
Someone
shoe,
asks you
that's
for a
the
Nike
worst.
Cortez. No, not Nike Cortez. Someone asks you for a Jordan 14, the black with the lime green or whatever. You're just trying to be a great employee to go back and get it as quick as possible. You already have maybe like a Air Max 95 out on the floor. You go back. You think you're about to get a $120 sale
And then
or whatever.
he ran out the door with the shoes.
You open, yeah, but the box is still there, and you're like,
Oh.
everything's fine. You open it up, and it's a pair of beat up that they just replaced the shoe,
Sure.
and like,
Oh man, that's like, ugh.
but it got like crazy because like some managers used to chase after the people
Yeah.
and like catch them, and
Can't do that anymore.
no, you can't do that anymore.
I feel,
but some
I
people,
feel,
but
I feel
listen,
like you
some
should be able to.
bro, some people used to chase after the people stealing the shoes and take the shoes back and the shoes that they were wearing and make them walk barefoot.
The crazy part about it is, you know,
They used to be like, "Hey, I'm not going to call the cops, but I need the shoes that you stole from me, and I need your shoes."
Wow.
because the crazy part about it is that, yeah, there's always like the mindset of like, you work for a corporation, this really isn't your property, why do you care about it, right? But if you're the manager of the store, your like livelihood depends, like typically the sole reason that someone gets fired from a store is the number on the inventory.
Okay.
You know, when they do
If that number's wrong.
yeah, or if it's there's like an allowance of
Sure,
like
sure, sure.
of
It's
called
like
shrink.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
like
What is that,
one
shrink?
Shrink is
Yeah.
basically an allowance of like things are going to get stolen from you. So like the shrink is built in. We know things are going to get stolen.
Okay.
but
it
like
has to be like 1%.
yeah,
or
you
something
want to
like
keep
that,
your
like
shrink
one
percentage down.
It's
or
like
at least
I
back
think,
in the day.
I think it was like 1 to 2% or something. Like, don't quote me on that. But if you have a high shrink rate, you know, it's,
You might get fired.
I remember.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, if that's going to happen, and I saw you steal the shoes from me and I can still see you in my plain sight, why are you just going to be like, nah, bro, take it?
Did you chase anybody down?
I never did. I had the same thing happen. I had a few coworkers who chased people down, like ran all the way to like the Boston Aquarium to like try and like choke someone out over shoes.
Boston
like
Aquarium? Yeah. Wow. I also remember there were some days where like people came in and there was one time someone like took a row. So the fitteds, right? The fitteds always had 7 1/4, 7 1/8 in the size thing, right? And I just remember
took a whole rack.
Took a whole rack and like dared.
Like looked somebody right in the face, looked a
Dare
sales
you to stop me.
associate finish
Who
line.
could
Like,
stop me now?
yeah.
Dared, and
I remember
no one did. Just like walked out with a. It just happened, you know.
There was one where this one was crazy when I was working at Dick's, and like I remember helping this guy. He bought a pair of shoes, but like he was buying shoes for his kid, and then I mean you can never assume, but he seemed like a pretty like middle class like suburban guy that could probably afford a pair of $50 shoes for his kid.
Okay.
And I did the same thing Joe did, and there was like a pair of like kid shoes like in the box. And at Dick's at the time, like you'd give them the shoes, but they'd have to like walk up to like the front of the store. And Dick's is obviously a huge store, so it's not like I didn't know there was no pointed transaction where I rang the person up. It was just like, okay, here you go. Like go to the cashier after you buy your treadmill and your fishing rod and all that sort of stuff.
Bow and arrow.
And I realized that the guy like stole the shoes, and he had his kid like in his arm or whatever, was holding it by his hand.
The child was an accessory to the robbery.
He was trying to walk out with the kid shoes, and I'm like, "Hey man, you forgot your kid shoes," and he's like, "Oh yeah, I knew I forgot those back." He was trying to play it off like,
"Oh, so did he return them?"
No, but he was trying to get his kid to walk out with the new shoes on. Like he was trying to steal the shoes for his son. And I'm like, hey, you forgot the box for those shoes that you took.
To pay for.
Yes. And he's all like, oh, yeah, whoops, I forgot about that one.
I definitely forgot.
Yeah, the other thing, internal people stealing, the easiest thing was
that's the
taking the garbage out.
That's the majority
and I was so
of theft.
naive to it.
Wait.
You volunteered to take the garbage out and like
working at a sneaker store, working at Finish Line.
Yeah, like I never
move stuff out the back.
Yeah, I never realized
this
it was
is
like
employees stealing.
Yeah. And it was like I guess employees would just put boxes or shoes in the garbage bags, take the garbage out, put put the shoes somewhere.
And as long as it was within the shrink, the parent.
No, it's not okay.
You're not okay, but that's how they were doing it.
Maybe nobody's gonna notice.
Yeah, but
people notice though.
People would notice in like.
Did you snitch?
I never knew. I never knew who was doing it. It was just relayed to me, and I never.
Answer.
Huh?
No, I'm kidding.
No, I would say like before like the modern day era of like organized retail theft or like whatever they call it, when there's like people like going in and stealing like mass units or whatever. Like back then, they would say that the biggest driver of stealing from a store was always like internal stealing.
Okay.
So
again, the back door.
Yeah,
the literal back door.
But back then, it wasn't. It wasn't like people were backdooring shoes in the sense that like they were trying to sell them. It would just be like some kid, like I don't know, like some 17-year-old kid who has a job at Foot Locker and doesn't think twice about like stealing like a pair of Air Jordans, a pair of Air Maxes, and like a pair of Air Forces. You know, like. And
listen, it was all about sales floor awareness, and the biggest example of no sales floor awareness that we have to say always.
Yao Ming?
Yao Ming getting stolen. The cardboard cutout.
It always comes back to Rudy Calderon.
Rudy Calderon, supporting with his new baby, supporting.
Wow.
Yep, shout out to Rudy. Look.
Shout out.
Starting him early.
Watching the Complex Sneakers podcast.
Yes.
Can we put that image in?
Oh, I'll see if he wants to
also
face
out. Shout out to our former coworker, David Park, at Look Rich as Pho.
Who animated,
on Instagram. You can put the picture right there. Animated or drew out last week's back and forth.
You were in it. Yes. Yes. Yep.
Great visual depiction of that confrontation. Sorry, I forgot. We're still giving away the shoes?
Giving away the shoes. Great pair.
Okay.
They're all gone, right?
Right. And who are we giving them to?
We are giving it away to Ryan Clarkson. Great pair. Good question. Enjoy those.
Nice one, Ryan.
Hasn't been negative energy. It hasn't been, but maybe some negative topics a little bit.
You want to have fun this week?
Lighten the mood?
Yeah, lighten the mood.
We're giving away pink shoes, lighten the mood.
You sent out a tweet. This week.
Let me say something. A lot of times when Matt Welty sends out a tweet, it's not about lightening the mood.
Yep, you never know. sent out a tweet a couple days ago. What gets me excited about sneakwers these days? Sneakwers because
What?
S-E, there was a typo.
Oh.
S-N-E-A-K-W-E-R-S. Okay, typo.
You know where
all
the
right.
typo came on that one?
Tell me.
I had originally wrote the word footwear, and then I went to go change it to sneakers, and I'm typing it on my.
Sneakwers.
I thought maybe your hands were all blistered up from that rope slide, and you had
Well, listen,
trouble
maybe
navigating the
there
keyboard.
may be an edit button on Twitter now soon, okay? So, anyway, what gets me excited about sneakers these days? And you listed that.
Yep.
And, you know,
What did he put on there?
okay, first one, what Teddy Santis is doing with New Balance.
You love those?
Let's talk about it. Let's go step by step.
Okay.
I really like those shoes.
The new pack that he's dropping, the
and
grayscale.
You got a pair?
Yeah, I got a pair.
You got the OG 990s.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Teddy.
it's interesting to see because it's like as he's been billed, he's like the creative director of the Made in USA collection, and they dropped a whole just kind of OG like 990 series.
Yeah.
In just kind of simple colorways, but they're not billed as Teddy Santis collaborations. Like everyone knows he's doing it.
It's called Made by Teddy, though, right?
Well, wait,
Oh,
but
is it?
So some stores, it seems, are branding this as the New Balance times Made by Teddy collection. Is
Everything that I had seen,
Which
and maybe
seems a little weird.
Maybe I had just seen that it was New Balance Made in USA.
That's what I
and
thought.
no branding.
Okay.
On it, maybe they're like nicknaming it to tell you it's Teddy, but
Okay.
Should we text
I thought it was
Joe
interesting.
Grandino?
It just seemed
Text
interesting
Teddy.
in the rollout of the product that it wasn't like overly branded as this is like Teddy Santis or Ame Leon Dor. It's just product that he created within the company he now works for.
Yeah.
so you like those? How many?
I just think they look great. I haven't like broken.
Did you like the lookbook that he did yesterday?
The lookbook. I came out like a couple. I think
2 days ago.
no, it came out like a week ago.
No, it didn't.
The video. The
Oh,
video.
no, did you see the lookbook that came out
Oh
yesterday?
no, I didn't see that yet.
Oh,
I saw
really good.
I saw the video where there's like a painter, there's a
Yeah.
woman putting together flowers, a lot of cool stuff. I think it was a cool way to tell
Exciting
the
time
New
for
York
you.
American story.
We're
So,
going to see you at Ame maybe Sundays.
I don't know. I
Fredo
I
Espresso.
haven't been yet, but
We can go.
get some mountain tea.
Yeah.
Brendan, they know who the fuck you are yet?
I like those shoes okay. I don't think it's like the most exciting work, but I don't think that's the point of it, right?
I've been wearing his beef and Brock so a lot.
Looks great with a black sole, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
All black fit. All black fit. Wore them on an upcoming episode of Sneaker Shopping. It'll be out soon.
Yeah, I just think it's cool that he's making which feels like kind of inline product to some degree, that they're able to build buzz and hype around. It feels like a perfect move for New Balance.
Hopefully I get
think
some-
the product just looks nice.
Hopefully
That's
I
just
get
me.
some 574s maybe.
There's no 574s in that bunch, but
Okay,
576?
since we're basing this whole episode on one Welty tweet, what else does Welty like? It
no,
for right now?
but I want you to talk about what excites you in sneakers, Brendan.
Should we go back? Let's try to go back and forth. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like actual sneakers, like product. I mean, honestly, the most exciting thing to me recently is the Sonny Vaccaro movie. You know what I mean? I'm hyped
our
about
boy,
that.
our boy. Talk about that's a good one. Shouts to Sonny. We got to
Here's the
get him
thing.
back in studio. We had him on the podcast.
Yes.
Let me just say, guys, I know we always say it, but go back and listen to the Sonny Vaccaro episode.
History.
One of my favorites. That movie. I emailed Sonny. He's very excited. It seems we need to get him back in studio.
Giuseppe?
You looking for a role in it?
I am. I was gonna say, but so yes, the answer to your question is yes. But a lot of times for me right now, the things in sneakers that are exciting are not the actual products, but like
Lawsuits.
lawsuits are like big stories. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather have a big scoop than a super limited shoe. You know what I mean? But did you ask Sonny why there's not an Italian American playing him?
I don't know, because my first choice, Premium Pete. Premium Pete. Come on.
can we ask
Premium,
you-
a young Premium
Yes.
Pete?
Can we ask you a question? What's more egregious point of cultural erasure? Sonny Vaccaro not being played by an Italian American, or Chris Pratt playing Mario?
Okay.
No, I am so hyped for this movie. This is about Sonny Vaccaro, legendary sneaker footwear business exec who helped sign Michael Jordan to Nike, although some Nike people would say that wasn't really the case. He helped bring Kobe to Adidas. He worked at Reebok. Yeah, definitely go listen to the Sonny Vaccaro episode. But I don't love the casting. I gotta say, all the Italian American jokes aside, like Matt Damon as Sonny Vaccaro and Ben Affleck as Phil Knight, I just don't see it.
I mean,
I need a Steve Buscemi as a Sonny Vaccaro. How about that?
You know who could have played Phil Knight?
Who?
You.
No.
Wait. You did.
who knows if the castings?
He did. Brendan
Locked
did
already?
Yeah.
You think I'll bump Matt Damon for it?
Brendan did reenact
A Phil Knight photo.
Phil Knight photo, which is
For an old Soul Collector story that we got sued over.
I've been trying to find. I think maybe did it get taken down or
Yeah, the photographer who took the original image had an issue with it.
So
was some
there's the
rights
photo
clearances.
of Phil Knight where he's laying on his stomach with like a wide brim hat,
a
right?
Nike hat, yeah.
Pair of sunglasses in like Jordan 4s with like his feet kicked up in the air.
Yeah, he's propped up on his elbows. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go Google it because we're not going to put a photo
Okay.
of it.
Anyways,
because we don't have.
But Brendan reenacted the photo in like whatever it was like 2015 or something.
modern Nike gear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, please look
I'm
that up.
looking forward to that movie. I think that they're going to cook up something special.
Come on,
those two.
dude. Ben Affleck
Good
as Phil Knight.
Will
I need.
Hunting.
Yes.
Have you seen Good Will Hunting?
I have. I need. Okay. Here's what I need. First of all, I'm not putting my hat in the ring for any of those roles, but I will do I would be maybe a young Tinker Hatfield. I think I could do.
Okay.
Or if they have a flashback scene, Steve Prefontaine, I could do Pre.
That would be good.
That's
that would
easy.
be really good.
Maybe a young Mark Parker. No, you don't see it.
No.
Less so.
Prefontaine. I think you were
I had
getting
you for a
warmer
while
with
there.
Prefontaine.
I don't know. Did you see like the Phil Knight portrayal in in Winning Time? He's kind of like this mousy
Yes.
guy. Like that
yes,
one was
I didn't
another
like
miss
that
to
one.
me.
I didn't
feel
like that one. That
We need
portrayal.
like Adam Driver as Phil Knight, or maybe Bradley Cooper as a Phil Knight. To me, I could see that a little bit more.
Okay.
Delroy Lindo as George Raveling, Jesse Plemons as Howard Slusher.
I don't know who that is.
Well, when the movie comes out,
Okay.
well, I don't know if they'll feature everybody, but I'm hyped for that.
Me too.
What gets you excited in sneakers these days, Joe?
You don't sound excited.
No.
I gotta say.
You know what I really like?
Lorenzo G Customs?
That is on my list. I feel like I always bring up
Oh,
Lorenzo G,
and
but
you have them on feed right now.
This is so I think Lorenzo G's customs where like like if I thought about wearing customs in the past,
Yeah.
I just wouldn't do it.
like customs, like you didn't want a shoe with like that's painted like the Grinch or something like that.
But I even think about like when I dyed the olive nines back in the day, and
Spray painted
everyone,
them.
spray painted them.
Come on,
Everyone
man.
was doing it. Exactly. I wouldn't like. I thought about it, and I remember there were so many years where I was like, I would never do that again, and because like I think there was this thing of like if it's altered, the colorway is altered, it's not the shoe. But I think that people like Lorenz is doing such a good job,
Good guy.
and I always say that we're working on a loud pack together.
Okay. A lot of people are working with that Lorenz
I see.
style. There's some
okay,
people,
so
and
you've
I'm-
noticed that he's.
Yeah,
you've
he-
noticed.
Look,
you've noticed
he
that he's
feels
been.
like people are lifting his work, and I feel the same way. That
Do
DJ
you?
Khaled Jordan brand stuff
Yeah.
looks a little.
There's also
little
some
bit familiar.
Someone hit me recently about it because there's a pair of Nike Metcons coming out that are very similar to
The color fade dip dye. type
yeah,
thing
it's
that
like
he
three
does.
different
Yeah.
colors, and it's not as just the shoe comes in 3 blocks.
So what I like about him is like even a couple days ago, I'm waiting to get the new batch, and because we have the.
He's been teasing it online.
just one though. Just one he's been teasing.
There was
And-
a photo he
yeah.
took the other day. Or
looks
he-
good though, right?
He posted it was like the lineup where it was Joe's pair,
Yachty.
Yachty's pair, and Ronnie Feig's pair.
The Holy Trinity.
They have those though.
Okay.
That's the old
Sorry,
pack.
Can I
That's
interrupt
the
real
old
quick and
pack.
talk about a different Holy Trinity because we are talking about the shoes we're wearing, and we like to mention on this
Oh, yeah.
podcast the
Yes.
shoes we have on feet. Joe, you have on some
Lorenzo G. The raisins. Yeah.
California Raisin inspired. There's some Phil Knight history there too. Look that up.
Yep.
You know about
Are
that?
these at 12?
Phil Knight orchestrated a hostile takeover.
There's some
of the
history
Portland-
behind this shoe, I believe.
You don't want to hear my history?
You've been throwing out so many names, I just kind of lost track. But I'm happy to always hear your history. But there's some history behind the shoe. I think Lorenz could tell it one day when he's in New York. We got to get him on.
Sure, absolutely.
But yeah, I got these. These are my second pair of his customs. Like I said, we're working on a new batch. And what I was going to say is what I really like is I hit him like, hey, how are we looking? And he's like, it'll be another few weeks. and I'm fine with that because like it does go through this dying process. That's kind of like an old school Complex video, like filming that, you know? Maybe.
Let's do it.
The one thing that I'm excited about, that other thing that you're doing too.
What thing?
We can't say it yet, but
I don't even.
What shoes do you have on, Brendan?
Oh,
Okay.
I want
Cut me
to
off.
know
It's
what the
okay.
thing is he's talking about.
you're going to Cali in a couple weeks.
Oh, right.
That's going to be a banger, low key.
Yeah, some more Hollywood sneaker talk.
Yeah, it's going to be a banger.
Things I don't even know about.
I know.
Always,
Don't worry
always
about
like
it.
left
We'll
out
fill
of
you
the.
in. We'll fill you in.
Always left
You
out
had
of
to
the. You're
calm
like,
down
oh,
from
you know
last-
this thing that like, yeah. We're like, I'm like, I have no idea.
Listen, we wanted
my
you needed to
goodness.
calm down from last week. You're here. We'll start filling you in. We wanted to give you a little break from the sneaker talk because you gave it your all last week.
One more Hollywood sneaker thing on the Sonny Vaccaro thing. The people who are making this movie, John Weinbach, Jordan Moldo, please reach out. You need our help.
Okay.
All right.
Whether
What shoes are you wearing? Enough of the shameless
He's
plugs.
really trying to get his IMDb up. He's really.
What shoes are you wearing?
God, I'm sorry to delay. I'm in Air Jordan 3. I'm worried about the rain a little bit later today, but I'm going to try.
It's all right.
I'm
We'll
gonna
wipe it
try
right
and
off.
Escape it,
We'll
yeah.
wipe
Welty,
it.
what do you have on feet?
I'm doing these. I feel like this may be the third or fourth time, or maybe the third time I've worn these in the past week or so. Highs and lows, Asics 1130. Shout out to good friend Matt Thomas at Highs and Lows. Yeah, it was one of those shoes I wasn't surprised, but Ronnie had posted a IG story.
Yeah.
About the shoes, but with a text message between, I guess, or DM between him and Matt, and Ronnie was talking about how great he thought the work on these Asics shoe was, which was kind of cool to see because usually people don't do that. But
Tipping his hat in a way. I think he had maybe told him that Ronnie had said we were trying to figure out the right way to do this model, and we weren't quite sure, but that Highs and Lows had done great work on executing it.
Either way, big fan of these.
Nice.
Which go to say one of the things I had said in the tweet, which I think something we can all talk about.
Yeah.
One of the things I get excited about the most these days is when people I know personally get to do stuff within the footwear space.
Yeah.
And you get to support and wear their product, or they send you something that they did. You know, there's a lot of people out there where you're like, oh, you get sent a pair of shoes and you're happy about getting sent a pair of shoes, but you're not really like friends with the person that's sent them. They're more of like a business acquaintance.
This is you complaining about the free shoes.
Yeah,
you
I'm
get?
not. Burn
I'm
the
not.
shoes.
I'm not. No, hold on.
I know. I'm kidding.
You know, it's like you get things from like random PR people or someone from like a random store might reach out, but you have no real like connection to those people. But when you get, you know, certain things where it's like, oh, like Mosh got to do like his own New Balance shoe, or like our friend Conceited got to do his own Diodore collaboration.
yeah.
Or I had like met Matt in New York like in 2015.
This
He,
is
like,
Matt from How.
Yeah, and he came to the office, and then you got to talk to him, you know, as well. And he was like a nice guy, you know.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Hey, I want to hit you up on a project I've been working on," you know. And I think it's really cool at this point of us being in the industry where you get to know, like, not just meeting the designers behind shoes, but when you get a lot of people you've met along the way of this kind of journey start to get their own projects or doing product, and you somehow get to like experience that or get to wear the shoes. I think I don't know, to me that starts to mean a lot more than just getting like hot releases or being the cool guy because you got like seeded something or whatever, you know.
You care more about it if you actually know. the
Personal
person.
connection.
Yeah.
Another thing that I really like, the Yayo episode kind of, it's like kind of all connected to me. The Yayo episode where he talked about the 50 Cent sneaker deal, the Reebok deal, and like him, you know, went into the meeting and Reebok, and 50 was like, it's over. I think the combination of these older stories getting out, humbly, like happily and humbly, sometimes on our shows, like the Rodman. Like the Rodman telling old stories, Jazzy Jeff from FSR, Tony Yayo with like the G-Unit stories, a combination of that and these old school Instagram accounts that look back at the history of Good Burger, In Style Shoes, 1999,
Our guy Tom.
sneaker history, even like I could like spend so many hours on like looking through and just like scrolling. You just get knowledge, and I think that it's really important that like where in the content game of like digestible content where it's like new release, news, and like super here today, gone in like the next Instagram post. You could scroll back on these Instagram accounts and like learn a lot of stuff. I still like learn a lot of stuff, even like going back and I think that it's all connected, and I really think that like older stories and the history coming back, it's pretty exciting.
I just hope that other people think it's exciting because, and I don't know if we've talked about it on here, but this is the dilemma that you always are in when you make stuff on the internet where like we feel passionate about those older stories or like bringing those people on our podcast or talking about them in depth. And you might interview 6 different people who worked on a shoe from 20 years ago and write a bunch about it and explain the story.
And maybe they care, maybe they don't.
And 9 times out of 10, they don't care. But then the photo of Benjamin Kickz with all his Jordan 2s does 200 times more traffic. And you're like, man.
That's always
man,
you know,
I tried to tell the
field.
story. I
A
tried.
leaked photo of like a new Air Jordan 1 colorway that doesn't matter comes out and like you post it on Instagram.
That's how it goes, though. Personally, though, I really like that. Yeah, and definitely something that I'm into.
I thought also someone had brought up in the comments of that episode.
The Tony Ayo full-size run episode.
I didn't realize that someone had said that Prodigy in his like autobiography or whatever, or his book had told that story. So that was like a confirmed.
Yayo was on it though.
Yeah, no, but that was
gotta
like,
read
but
the
that
Prodigy book.
wasn't just Yayo, you know, trying to say that like 50 had maybe the deal had ended or whatever.
Yeah.
It was Prodigy made it very clear that 50 cut them out of.
Interesting.
It seems more like the Reebok deal was maybe worth, and this isn't exact, but they're saying the Reebok deal is worth $20 million, and then 50 kind of probably had broken off everyone a chunk of that within G Unit to help bolster it and maybe give his friends some cash. But then when he realized they weren't even promoting it but still getting paid, then he was like, "You're out of the deal." Like it's like 50 like cutting you out of the will, you know?
This is exactly what happened to Sonny Vaccaro.
Coming to
No, not
big screen near you.
Not exactly what happened. But yeah, that's, I mean, and not to always, I'm not trying to shoehorn that thing back in here.
No.
That's the same type of history that I'm talking about. And like, I hope that people explore all those things we put out there. And I hope that like things like this movie coming out will
And
get people back into it. And even maybe create an olive branch in some way. Like, you know, so many of those people are estranged from each other, or, you know, Phil Knight and the whole Nike side will never give Sonny Vaccaro the credit for helping sign Michael Jordan, and they say he wasn't as instrumental as he says he is. So that's actually something I'm very interested in about the movie. I know I'm taking it back there real quick, but like I wonder if that will serve to help reconnect these people in a way, because you know, they have the rights to his life, and some of the same people who worked on The Last Dance worked on this. Like, can this be an olive branch in any way? I don't know.
Yeah, but is there any product lately that's really excited you, Brendan, as far as like release stuff goes? There has to be something that's like come out.
I mean, yeah, I definitely thought about it beforehand, and I'm trying to think about it right now. But I mean,
I know you've been wearing the Bodega Hokas
yeah,
quite a bit.
Yeah, I like those fine. I mean, I got stuck wearing them for like a week, and then I'm like, they were the only shoes I had access to for a number of reasons. But yeah, I don't know. Sounds bad to say, but like I said, I get more excited writing about sneakers than I do buying sneakers right
There's
now.
no N Reeboks sort of type beat.
Not unless you know of any. I mean,
no, I meant something along that lines of just.
I struggle to think of. Oh, you know what? The shoe. Okay, this is the shoe that I'm obsessed with this year, and we all know it. Like Louis Vuitton Air Force Ones, like that thing, and like everything surrounding that shoe. And I've already spoken about it at length on here, so I don't want to take up more time with that. But that's like the most exciting thing to me right now.
Did you see what Abdul posted about that shoe yesterday?
No, I didn't.
He posted a
What
photo.
did our friend Abdul say?
He posted a photo.
that all
with,
day has all.
Yeah,
of them?
with
I think that's true.
with infamous sneaker collector. I don't want to put any titles on him that I don't know, but person who has a lot of shoes.
Definitely that.
Should I
We know that
FaceTime?
for
all
sure.
day.
You're gonna FaceTime all day?
All day ATF, who's part of Clark and Mayer's sneaker crew. He had said that he has every Louis Vuitton Air Force One 2 times over.
Is that true?
I don't know. But
I don't know. It seemed like a joke. We're spending a lot of time on here talking about things that people posted on IG stories that we can't independently verify. I don't know if Abdul was joking or not, but
I don't know with Abdul. He's a real
And if anybody
Jokester.
might have them, it's all day
All
for
day.
sure. Hopefully we
Most
should get all
dangerous
day
man
on
in
here.
sneakers. I saw All Day, not at the last net game, but the one I went before that. He's still out here.
Did you tell him we want him on the Complex Sneakers podcast?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to do it. I
Really?
don't think anyone's going to do it.
I think he doesn't.
I don't
do,
think
I think
Ben's
he
doing-
doesn't do interviews.
Yeah, but All Day.
Is there any product lately, Joe, that you've gotten really excited about? I think out of the three of us, you buy the most shoes.
Ooh, you think so?
Because I mean, I feel like you at least for the most part, always hitting us up, be like, I bought this, I bought
I
this.
bet Joe buys more shoes
feel-
than us. Yeah. Who do you think buys the least?
Probably, maybe me.
I think you. Yeah, I think I
Definitely.
buy more shoes than you.
Definitely. I think to your point, I like Solomon. They've become
Yeah.
like
You mentioned that in the tweet, right?
the tie-dye ones have just become my like weekend
Oh,
walking
nice.
around shoe. Like not even I wouldn't even say errands, but just like I know I'm going to be walking around a lot, like super comfortable.
You're going to get some gelato on a Saturday
Exactly,
afternoon.
like walking around the city.
Manhattan special.
Don't spill it.
Yeah, I like what Solomon's doing. I think what's really exciting is getting into a silhouette that is not new for me, 95s, and just like wearing a ton of different 95s for a span of like months.
Are you buying old ones right now?
No,
I feel like you became
no.
like the 95 guy over the past like
Really?
year, right?
Tom Sachs guy.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
95
I'm not
guy.
saying, but no, but I feel like that's the shoe I see you
wear
most
it a
often
ton.
wearing.
I agree with that.
I wear it
agree
a
with that.
lot. I wear it a lot, and I like really enjoy. That's why I think like me and Lorenz have like.
But before that, I'm not saying that you didn't like Air
Never.
Max 95s, but I never really saw you wear much Air Max 95s. Then all of a sudden, it was
know.
like that's your shoe.
It's just a feeling. It's
Is
just
that
like
Joe's like signature silhouette right now?
I think so.
A 95
CDG 95s,
Yes.
like in
in particular. Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe La Puma wears that sneaker a lot.
how many pairs of CDG 95s do you have?
counting Lorenz.
Yeah,
6.
5.
Okay.
that's $350 shoe.
you do the
Clocking
math. What'd you say?
The Lorenz ones are a lot more expensive.
And it's crazy
Hey.
too because the original, I don't know if we've probably told this story here, but the original JLP shoe was the black Oreo Air Jordan 4s where you bought like 8
Yes.
pairs when they came
I
out.
bought 10 pairs of those.
Actually,
Yes, I have.
how?
I got.
Can you say how?
No, from
In
stores. From stores. You guys probably.
a bunch of different stores.
Yeah, bunch of different stores.
Okay.
Just being totally
You did
honest.
that. You did the black and white up tempos. How many pairs of those did you get?
Yeah, probably only like 2 or 3, but then they were too many colorways of those.
Yeah, they kind
So
of
wait, you black,
tempo.
white up
But the
tempos.
Black Hat 4s is like.
Oh,
Black
how many?
Hat-
Yeah,
how many
yeah,
black
yeah.
cat 4s?
I still have a bunch of those on ice.
A bunch. You won't even say the number.
Bunch of those on ice. And
More Oreos or more black cats?
Oreos were like I went stupid with the Oreos.
How many Oreo Jordan 4? How many pairs did you actually
8 to
wear
10
through?
pairs.
How many have you worn through? Because I loved it.
5.
Really? And you retired for the 5 or you're on the 5th one?
I wouldn't even know, but I was wearing them every single day. Every single day. Every day.
Could you ever be like
God.
Mark Zuckerberg with the
With the fits?
Yes.
no, but with the Oreo 4s, black Oreo 4s?
Black
like
Cat 4s. If I had to
I meant
pick
like
one,
if you see Joe La Puma's, if you go into your apartment, right?
Yep.
And you go by the door.
Yep.
Could you ever just be like you have 7 pairs of black cat 4s lined up, and there's like a different one that you go through?
if I had to choose one, or
No, I
or
meant
right
like,
now?
could you ever just do it where like that's all you wear? Like you have 8 pairs of black cat 4s, and you just kind of keep on like
Probably.
going through it, but you don't have anything else that you kind of cycle
Probably.
through.
Black Cat 4s I love.
Welty, is there a shoe that you've bought? I feel like I haven't heard very much of you like buying multiple pairs of shoes. Did you ever?
No, there was one point I think back in the day where I told myself I was going to buy like 5 pairs of Air Max Neon 95s and never did that.
Yeah. Because that was something I'm sure you aspired to at one point, right? Seeing people
Yeah.
on Nike talk like, oh, some OG colorway of an Air Max or an Air Jordan is coming back out. And like the cool thing was like, yeah, I need to buy 3 pairs of these.
Yeah.
10 pairs of Oreos is wild and silly.
Did I mention? I forget when we talk about all this stuff. I think maybe we were talking about it with Nems, where I had a. Did we talk about this on the podcast last week, or I forget when we mixed everything up? I had like a guy I used to work with who, when the Bordeaux 7s came out, he
Yeah.
bought like 8 pairs.
Yeah, that's too many. Surely you've bought doubles of a shoe before.
Have you ever? Good question.
I don't think so.
Have you?
Me for sure.
Which one? Give me one.
Not very many though, and I know it's like obviously a very sneakerhead thing to do of like one to rock, one. Did my voice just crack? One to rock, one to stock. Or our boy Kevin Loyster is like
17
pairs.
to rock.
He's like 2 pairs to me. Kevin Loyster is a friend who works here at Complex and has an insane sneaker collection, but he's like.
Man.
1 pair is equal to 0. Like if you have 2 pairs and you have 1 pair, do the math, I guess. But neon Air Max 95s, I think when they came back out, and I want to say 2010, and you could buy them on East Bay a little bit early through a pre-order, and there was a coupon floating around on Nike Talk. I had 2 pairs of neon 95s. I don't know if I ever got to wear the second pair. I think somebody else took that liberty for me. Black Cement 3s, I think when they did that with Nike Air, I think I bought 2 pairs of those.
There should
that's
be,
where
there
we
should
talked
be an
about this.
episode we all just wear black cement 3s.
We talked about the Bordeaux 7s on our caffeine live stream.
There we go.
So I'm
all
like
over the place.
I'm
Plug it
forgetting
all.
where we're like talking
yeah,
about.
sometimes it's tough to.
We had a former coworker that
Yes.
bought, I think, like 10 pairs of black cement 3s when they came back
Yeah,
out.
he said
too.
it was his retirement, right?
Yeah.
There must have been another shoe that I mean, you know what? I think there's probably other shoes that I just ended up with multiple pairs of like, you know what? I'm just gonna try like more limited stuff and try and buy them if I can, and you might get lucky and have 2 pairs of something and resell one and keep
I think the closest it gets for me is not even just having like multiple pairs, but I have like the gray New Balance 990 V5s. I have the gray New Balance 990 V4s. I have another version of the gray New Balance 990 V4s. I have like 3 different
Are
colorways.
you proud to have those? Because again, this is one thing where I think you and I can relate, where there was probably a moment in our sneaker fandom where we aspire to have every version of everything. But now, to me, I look at that stuff and I'm like, I really have like 6 pairs of this thing that barely differs from each other.
And I think I know I mentioned it here, but it's like those are my shoes where when I don't think about what I'm going to wear, I have like all 5 of those or 6 or whatever of my 990s just sitting at the door, and it's like, which one am I going to toss on my feet and walk to the gym today in?
Yeah. I mean, this is like veering off a little bit, but there are certain sneakers where I have way too many colors of them. Like, Joe, I feel like you fell into the same thing, but like the Zoom Fly, when the Zoom Fly was new, I was like, just like, you know what?
Day breaks, bro.
I was like, I think I can own every colorway of the Nike Zoom Fly.
Yeah.
And I was just buying them at retail, or sometimes I'd, snag a pair from like an employee store situation
How
or
many
something.
did you end up with?
Zoom Flies? Not an insane amount, but I probably had like 10 different colorways of the Nike Zoom Fly. And I would run in them, some of them, but it just wasn't.
The best is when it first dropped, you went buku on the Vapor Max.
Yes, I had a lot of Vapor Maxes too, yeah.
Do you regret that or no?
No, I don't regret that. I wouldn't wear a pair of Vapor Maxes in 2022, but that was a fun time for me,
Yeah, I've had a bunch, like Daybreaks,
Yeah.
React 88s, 87s?
React 87, you had every colorway?
A lot.
Yeah.
Clot Zoom Havens.
Clop Zoom Havens, yep, had a lot of those.
Or Clot, yeah, Haven Air Max 97.
Yeah,
Why did you end up with multiple pairs of the Clot Air Max?
Oh no, man.
He just saw it and he thought the shoe was
I
sick, and then it went
don't
on sale.
I don't know.
Shout out our good friend Edison.
I
Yes, of
I liked the neon green ones, but I bought every single color, and I bought like multiple.
How many
ones.
colors were there?
There
What
was
do you mean
3.
every?
Yeah.
It was like a USA colorway.
I thought there were, the way you were saying, I was like, were there 10 colors of those and I forgot about it?
You know what shoe's growing on me before we go, and I have to say it?
Yes, please.
It's growing on me, and I think people are going to look back at this shoe.
More favorably than they do the Clot Air
And
Max.
not that it's
Zoom
hated on.
97
Not that
Haven
it's
Hybrid.
hated on, but I think this is a really good. For me, it's like
I have no idea where you're going. Do you have any idea where he's going right now?
No, I really don't
the
know.
Brazil Supreme Dunk High.
In unison,
I'm
slight
telling you.
groan. I don't need any of the
Unpopular
I can't do
opinion.
that. I
Dunk Highs
can't
unless
do
they're
that.
installed ones.
By any means.
The
heart?
Yeah, the heart.
I-
one.
No love.
Yeah.
Yeah, no love is exactly what he gets from me.
Damn, look at
I would-
outvoted by my own co-host. It happens. I'm just saying.
You know what? And again, I'm sure Welty and I are aligned on this. When it comes to that shoe, I would rather just have the regular version.
That's fair. That's fair.
Right?
Yeah, just the Brazil dunks.
Yeah.
That's
or
fair.
Oregon Ducks colorway, if you like.
All right, listen. They disagree on that one. We had a pretty.
Sorry, all I can be is honest with you.
Yeah,
Joe.
listen.
I mean,
We're not going to disagree as much as.
It's like the when you're predicting what stock is going to rise. Some people are all in on a certain stock, and then sometimes it pays off, and then sometimes it doesn't.
Actually, as an aside, that is one question that I hate getting in interviews when people are like, what do you think is next in sneakers? Or like, what's the next big thing? I'm like,
knows?
I never, and I'm not saying you're like, staking your reputation on this, but anytime anybody asks me like what's coming up in sneakers, I'm always like, I have no idea. Like that just gives me the opportunity to be wrong. So I don't want to be like on the record being like, I think this trend is going to be like, I have no idea.
Or sometimes you don't even know whether you see like a sneaker collaboration and you're like, this either could be like something that takes off, or it could just be a shoe that goes on sale, you know?
Unless we're talking leaking upcoming shoes.
Yep.
In which case.
He's a master at it.
Should we do it right before we get out of here?
Do you know that so-and-so is collaborating with Adidas?
Montreal Bagel, Nike Dunk Low coming?
Look at him leaking.
Should we go in? Neck face?
You gonna try to leak the Sonny Vaccaro script?
No, come on. We'll work with.
Would you put respect? You have enough respect for Sonny that you wouldn't leak anything with the movie?
No, if I had the opportunity to leak something juicy from that movie, I definitely would.
Okay. All right, we'll end there.
What if Sonny sends you an email saying, "Hey, what'd you do? Why'd you do that?"
No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't do that if Sonny's. Shouts to Sonny. We
Still
got to get
taking
him
it
back
there.
in studio.
Yes.
Congratulations on the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Good weekend.
Congratulations. It's like in time.
In time, but
Yeah.
we'll be there.
Yep.
Maybe go to the Alamo Draft House.
Red carpet. No, we'll be in Hollywood, baby. We'll be at the
premiere?
Yeah.
What are we
Come
wearing
on,
to the
gotta aim
premiere? What
higher.
are we wearing to the premiere?
We gotta fucking aim higher.
Sonny?
You already
Guests of
downgraded
Sonny?
us, Joe. I'm trying to be in this movie.
I know. I think I'm starting
You
to
know
think...
he's.
I'm
you
starting to
he's
think he's really...
No, I know that Brendan. Like we were talking about what you're wearing to the premiere. Like you've definitely
Supreme suit?
You've definitely thought it out before.
No,
in the
I
past.
haven't. No,
I'm
yeah.
starting to think he's like really serious of trying to get into this movie.
I think he is.
Why not? They're gonna have to do some makeup on my forehead.
That's all right.
They can CGI the scar out.
Maybe, yeah. Did Prefontaine do the steeplechase? Maybe. I think he might have.
Tinker after a pole vaulting accident or something.
Yeah.
All right, guys. This has been the Complex Sneakers Podcast. Thanks, everyone, for listening and watching. Please like, subscribe, and we'll see you next week.